talking about win condition, I guess real quickly, I do want to go over kind of who these players are, simply because I know if you've watched Execration in the past, you may be looking at these names. Wait, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, that's not names I recognize. So James usually goes by Cartman, for example. Kimmo is Lumic. Support player. Lumic. There he is. And I think that's it.
Yeah,
I think the rest are Raging Potatoes. Raging Potato. He goes many names.
Why would he ever change his name though?
I know. Raging Potato. Like he's got like 5 different names that he's gone by in the past, but this one is by far my favorite.
Yeah, and then I mean, even on Newbee side, they have name changes as well. Moogie used to be U9.
Yeah, U9.
Changed it up. Apparently, his name was associated with a company, and that's why he.
Yeah, there was a website, uu9.cn or whatever.
Oh, okay. Because I remember Jack telling me about that, and I was like totally confused because I don't know anything about that. But Newbee looking like they're going for the advantageous laning phase. They are going to smoke up. They do have a pretty decent kill potential at level 1. Sand King stun's pretty good. Looks like for now they're just going to be placing some wards. The one thing that I can see Newbee struggling with is not just about the post BKB Enigma, but punishing the Enigma in general. Because Dazzle is not really known for his aggressive potential. It's going to be the KP Shaker, obviously. But how do they stop him from getting farm, is my question.
Look at this. Kaka is actually going to hit him from the trees. Nice setup there. They're going to be able to get the slow onto Nando. He's going to have to pop the Rage. Kaka's trying to get in front of him to get a body block in, but not going to be able to do so. They do manage to snatch away that boundary rune, but fail to be able to get the first blood. It seems like everybody is doing this now. This has now become the standard to smoke and invade. You already had an Execration set up for an invasion up here in the top lane. They didn't really try and hide it too much. It seems like that's currently the meta. Everyone likes to be able to do that.
I think it's becoming more and more about just how you want to lane. So you have these 2 supports and bottom, and you can still pull. Like, you can pull your own creeps. You have a Dazzle. He's really good at killing the camp. I think it's maybe one thing that people kind of underestimate is how fast the hero can get farm in the early game and just get to like one decent item. And then you're kind of making the other team say, hey, I'm either going to try to win mid, which even in a 2v1, SCCC is probably going to be fine.
Right.
And then top lane, it's you know, Enigma versus the Earthshakers. So you're saying you're either pulling other heroes to come win this tri lane, or we're just going to completely, you know, shut down whatever heroes down here.
I'm kind of curious what this... Why isn't Raging Potato left to go bottom yet, since Nando's now here? Because they don't want the Lifestealer versus Ursa match.
Yeah, obviously not. It's really bad for him. They've already rotated the other support up too, so Faith is now turned into a 2-1-2. There's Raging Potato. He's out of there.
Man, he was reluctant to head down to that bottom
He's
lane.
like, I'm getting so many creeps. Why would you make me leave? Actually, he didn't get any. He just denied a bunch.
Yeah.
So I guess he was just sitting there like denying, helping control the lane a bit, and then... Yeah, because he's double wave now top.
Meanwhile, in mid lane, we actually had the Tusk kind of hanging around, try to threaten SCC as much as possible, but eventually you have to leave. That's just a lane that Dragon Knight will survive in. Right now, the Puck has the advantage, but not.
You cannot push this hero out of lane. Like, as Puck, you have to pretty much land every single orb. And even when you do that, all it takes is, you know, SCCC getting to his bottle and picking up 1 rune, and all your work is undone.
Yeah.
It's very, very tough. Fortunately, it's not like James has to crush his lane. He just needs to make sure that he gets 6 at a relatively good timing. And then once they start moving around the map, creating space for the Lifestealer and or I guess the Enigma too. Just because of how integral Raging Potato is going to be to this lineup.
He's got a lot to think about when he does hit that level 6 and where he wants to go ganking, right? Because both the Ursa and Earthshaker, I would say, have very high priority on your list of heroes to gank. You want to keep that Earthshaker away from his Blink Dagger as fast as possible, especially since it threatens you, the Puck, most. And then the Ursa, you're just a great hero to be able to kite the Ursa around quite a bit, and it's definitely a snowballing hero that can suffer if it has a bad laning phase. Oh no!
Gets him.
Nice pickup by Jane.
And a double null. I don't think he would have one-shot it. He also didn't have the Breathe Fire debuff. So yeah, one hit, 1 courier. It's a really good thing for Execration here. But yeah, the choice of who to gank is always kind of tricky, because you need to think about what hero is going to do the most amount of damage to what you're trying to accomplish, right? And sometimes it could be the Ursa because the Ursa is good against your lifestealer. But in this case, I think SCCC is the hardest hero to kill, but I also think in a way it's either him or it's KP. You delay the Blink Dagger on the Shaker, that gives your Puck a good game. You kill the DK, you stop the push. Because that's the only hero who really hits buildings on Newbee. They're more looking for like stable lanes, and once they get levels, yeah, they'll be able to do their 5-man Dota, but the DK and, first blood.
Oh, managed to pick up RR in the bottom lane. The Rubik ends up going down. Looks like chased down by Kaka and Moogie, and they're going to try and catch Raging Potato too. They do manage to slow him down. He gets the Eidolons in front of Moogie. Nice body blocking there from Raging Potato. Looks like they're still going to be able to make a dive underneath the tower. R tries to go for the body block, but he didn't have telekinesis up. Now he has it, but he's just going to have to turn and fight Moogie as best as possible because he's definitely dead here. He just hopes to be able to get the kill in return. He does, but doesn't manage to stay alive to be there for it. Ends up getting taken later on. Meanwhile, top lane, they actually managed to get Lumic. Faith barely survived through that one, but does manage to get the kill.
Surprising that he ends up dying in that lane. Like, Dazzle Shaker doesn't really seem like the type of lane with like super high kill potential.
Yeah.
And I guess there is a point in the Poison Touch though, so Faith opting to skip the shallow grave for now.
Yeah, maybe he just misjudged it, thought he could actually kill Faith rather than the other way. Faith will end up dying here. Endo, good wraparound there.
Well, so far, I gotta say, like, James is doing a really solid job. You know, normally in this matchup, if you can dodge the breathe fires, like, consistently, you should be able to still farm. But sometimes it's tough. You know, the AoE is pretty decent, and the animation itself is relatively fast. So if you're on your A game, looks like you can still do pretty well.
Yeah, he's keeping SCC low enough. He's gonna have to burn through invis and bottle charges now. Even a TP from the Dazzle to refill that bottle even more and give us some heal. Nice dodge on the Poison Touch. We now have the Soul Ring for KP. That certainly helps out quite a lot in your laning phase when you're facing up against a Trine lane, just being able to spam out Fisher for CS. And he does have quite a large stack here that he might be able to take some part in, though I'm sure Execration are going to put some pressure on it. Might be a good opportunity for James to rotate up, Kelly or Shaker and help take the stack.
They could probably do it, although a lot of the time when you're Puck, you really want your second spell level 2. Like, the Waning Rift deals a good amount of damage. So maybe if you get like the 1 or 2 extra points, it could be in trouble though, James.
Phase shift. Oh, Kaka tries to hit him before the jump to the orb, but our Puck is able to make it away. Meanwhile, top lane, R is in place to be able to go on KP here. Now, he is a tanky son of a gun, but that's the thing. Lifestealer's so good against the Shaker for that reason. You are actually one of the cores that can cut him down to size. Fortunately, only having 1 stun means that Earthshaker can always just TP back to tower.
I'm really happy to see that KP just TPs the tower. He doesn't, you know, TP back to base. Sometimes in the moment, you know, you do that. Moogie?
Well, on to Moogie. He's going to have to turn, fight, but he knows he's dead, so he ends up going down. In the meantime, though, SCC sees the opportunity. The Puck's gone, put pressure on mid, but James is already back. He walked to bottom lane and is able to TP back already. SCC is going to be caught by the snowball, and looks like he didn't have enough mana nor the cooldown for the Ice Shards. As it now, thanks to his wand, is going to be able to block Faith in, but James doesn't feel comfortable sticking around here, not against an Ursa. Faith is able to survive thanks to the shallow grave, and Moogie gets revenge against James.
Very heavy commitment there. It's very dangerous to do those kind of aggressive orbs and jaunt forward when you don't have any vision of the enemy high ground.
Yeah.
Like, sure, Lumic walked up the hill, but it's a Tusk, and he's only level 3, so he's not really offering that much damage. They should have probably anticipated a grave, but just overextending a bit. Could be in trouble, though, here.
Snowball will buy him some time. He went over to neutral, so he'll get some distance away from that Ursa. I think he'll be fine. It'll take a while for Moogie to chase him down if you really try. So the first rotation from our Puck was to put pressure on the Ursa. We'll see where his second one comes in, as he does have the Dream Coil coming off cooldown and a TP up in 15 seconds. I'm kind of feeling like I was looking at this matchup, and I feel like 2 of the standout players, the big playmakers for both teams, are actually the offlaners, right? KP is oftentimes the one who is making a lot of plays for Newbee, creating space, etc. He can have some rough games, but that's, I think, just the offlane in general. And Raging Potato, I think, is an excellent player for Execration. I think he's one of their best.
I absolutely agree. Like, for a long time, Raging Potato's kind of been that player who you look at and you just think, this guy, he can play a ton of different stuff. Always high impact.
Kaka going to be chased down here. Jameson's going to be able to pick up that one with the orb. KP actually going to TP back. Yes, not feeling where he's sitting at. Net worth-wise, we're sitting. Dragonite is top of the board, but he's been just kind of calmly sitting mid and farming the whole entire time. Puck is still keeping pace despite all the rotations, sitting at just 100 gold below him. The great thing for Execration is that their two cores, both the Enigma and Lifestealer, are both sitting there above the 3K line, while the Ursa is not quite there. So the laning phase has really gone well for Execration, despite the kill lead being slightly in the favor of Newbee, and even the gold very slightly ahead.
This is one of the worries I feel when you have just so little pushing power. Like even with SCCC, he's going to be forced to pop the haste here in the middle lane. They just need to get the tier 1s down, I think, a tiny bit faster. The more time the Execration has, the better.
And just get him with the coil here. Of course, he still has the haste run for a little while. Looks like that stun wasn't long enough to get Raging Potato there for the Black level 7. So that would have been a nice rotation. Good way to catch SCC. Ooh, he actually threw his stun onto Eidolon. That's not what he wanted. Kaka's going to be coming in. Looks like James is going to make this commitment here, see if they have the physical damage, but the heal comes out from Faith. That's not going to be good enough, so Kaka will go over to him as he chases down Raging Potato. Does have a Burrow Strike up in 2 seconds. He's going to have to go in deep for the tower. Has Malefice on him as well. It's not quite enough damage thanks to the range drops, and it looks like he might be able to get away. He turns, right-clicks Kaka, knows he's going to die to this one, but at least he'll ensure the death on Senki, or not. Barely outside of the range of the tower.
Oh, the
Raindrop does block that Ice Shard, but it's not going to block the Snowball, and the right-click that allows Living to be able to take the kill.
Still super worth it for Kaka. I'm also pretty sure he spent a little bit of his money before he died, so not losing out on too much there. Keeping himself alive, forcing reactions, getting a really, really big. So good stuff coming out so far here from Newbee, and that's the kind of pace they need to keep up. Wait, is James
that is a long enough stun that he wasn't able to jump to his orb. He's in trouble. SCC, he has got 35 movement speed, 5 more on the puck, but he's got Breathe Fire, and he didn't have the quick reactions to be able to stop it. So
that is a really hard spell to phase shift.
Yeah,
it's not instant, but it might as well be. It's just you have to know it's coming.
Yeah, you have to somehow, like, it's not a quick reaction sort of thing, right? It's a general read of he's going to Breathe Fire now.
Yeah, it's definitely tricky, but I've seen that like a handful of times out of James so far. Like the orb, it's either too aggressive or he's throwing it out and he's just mistiming his abilities.
Yeah,
and it's unfortunate because he needs to be the playmaker for his team.
Well, I guess if you're lifesteal and you don't want to deal with the Ursa in lane, you just become a Satyr instead. So he's kind of running around, throwing out the orbs. You have SCC with Kaka going to make a rotation up to this top lane. I like this a lot. So they're going to be able to put pressure on this lifesteal. They probably won't kill him since he's inside a Satyr, but they will at least pick up that one support kill and quickly turn it into a tier 1 tower push. Strasville, I think that's exactly what you wanted out of Newbee.
More or less, yeah. I think this is great. They're timing it with the catapult. They got the double wave and everything. It's not going to be any contention whatsoever. Bottom lane, they might lose KP here.
KP runs forward, positions himself for an Echo Slam, but he goes, that's not going to be enough damage to kill either one of them, so he holds on to it.
This is definitely better for Newbee, though. Even losing KP, it's a bit of a bummer, but because they push so fast, they're already making their way towards mid. Like, they're going to get extra damage on this tier 1. They're going to end up trading 2 tier 1s for the single tier 1 that Execration themselves will be taking. These are the types of trades you want.
Yeah, and this offlane tower is like, it's not the most important tier 1, right? That definitely lies in on the middle that SCC just took. So it's a lot of wins from this movement for Newbee. A lot of items coming in. We have the Midas finished up for the Enigma. Relatively good timing, 12 minutes here with the Arcane Boots. He's just got to speed his way quickly to the Blink Dagger. The worst thing you can do with the Enigma is be a little bit slow on the hand of Midas and then just be a bit too couple minutes behind on your Blink and your BKB. Because, as we talked about, this is a slower hero, and Newbee are going to be picking up the pace quite a lot in this first Dragonite. Especially now that they have the Aegis.
Yeah, the Roshan is huge. This is the Ursa Classic. You want Roshan pretty much every time it's up if you're playing the hero, and the biggest
Black hole onto Moogie, but he is going to have the time to throw out the enrage, it looks like, on this first life. He's pretty low. Raging Potato's really just hoping to be able to survive this in range, and his Eidolons will manage to take that kill. KP, he doesn't see Raging Potato to the last second. He gets out the Fisher. Raging Potato's like, all right, I traded my life for the Aegis. I'm going to throw out my Eidolon, see if I can get some extra CS, but
that is very worth it, though. I mean, it looks kind of weird to commit a Black Hole to an Aegis, but if you think about it this way, the Ursa wants the Aegis to be able to push.
Yeah.
That's the whole point, is you get the Roshan, you go get an objective with it, you take a team fight, you play Sprag. They're gonna find Kaka.
That's gonna be a smoke break. They just kind of pieced it together. Ice shards and orb feels him, but if they stick around, their push on the top lane may actually be met with some resistance from Newbee. They're got a 3-man smoke from bottom all the way through up to the top lane. I'm guessing Mookie's gonna TP in, though he doesn't have to TP for 15 seconds.
There's Blink on KP, though. This could be a juicy Echo.
Oh, it's looking real good. He's gonna come in, 2-man Echo Slam. He's gonna be able to get the Fisher off. Great reaction from RR to try and slow down KP, but he still gets off enough of a combination to finish those two off. And now RR, he's also going to die to Newbee's rotation. Great setup. Execration's James is the only one to be able to survive. TP's away. Actually cancels. I mean, it looks like he's going to cut one more wave instead of rotating to mid or something. Maybe that was an accidental cancel.
I'm not sure about the cancel, but it's one of those situations that just happened where you have wards down on the enemy side of the map for Execration and you feel safe. You're like, oh yeah, they're not coming up here, sick. And then you forget that, you know, Smoke of Deceit is a thing, and they just beelined it all the way from the other side of the map. Smoked ran straight up, and they just didn't quite grasp the timing that gank would hit them. And obviously the reveal of the Blink Dagger was perfect. Like that's the exact fight you want when you first get your Blink.
Yeah, it's a pretty fast Blink Dagger too.
Well, he did start in the safe lane, and then I think he left a little bit later on to the off lane when they decided that they wanted Mugi to get a little bit more of the farm priority. But nonetheless, you know, Newbee are getting the incremental advantages that they want with this Ursa lineup. You kind of want to be playing from ahead all the time, and the longer the game goes, you know, we keep coming back to Raging Potato and his importance in the game, but I think it's important that people understand just how difficult it is to play against Blink, BKB, Enigma when you don't have interrupts.
Yeah. Every single initiation, no matter how good it is, could actually be your downfall. Lumic in some trouble here. Going to be caught by KP.
Middle as well.
SCC. Alright, they managed to get Kaka, and will get some damage on this tier 1 tower. Mugi, meanwhile, he'll come over and protect the tower and stuff, but he's actually really close to his Blink Dagger, which will be huge. Between the two of them, Kaka, actually 3 of them, I guess. Kaka, Earth Shaker, and Pete, and he's Ursa. They're gonna have a lot of initiation openings. This is the hardest part of the game for Execration, right? Where you don't actually have the huge threat of BKB Black Hole. Maybe you have Blink, but that's again so many stuns. It's not gonna be too big. And the enemy team has all their mobility items to initiate on.
It's gonna be really chaotic fights. I think that's what's most likely gonna happen. There's gonna be Blink Puck with a Lifestealer. Tusk has stuns, you know, the Blink Black Hole, the Blink Epis, the Echo Slams. The fights are going to get super, super crazy really fast because I don't think Newbee want to back off yet. In fact, they go ahead and smoke up again.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're just going to hit and hit and hit Execration. And if they bloody them enough, it may be just an early submission. But if Execration can survive through these rotations, as Nando does, great rage! That was perfect. The smoke pops, and Nando doesn't waste a quarter of a second. He instantly pops that rage and just dodged the Echo Slam initiation.
That's really big. Like, not giving them the opportunity for a pick. Finding Nando would have been great for them. He's also got a Midas, so he's being as effective as he can throughout the map. They know Echo's down, so what do? Immediate infest smoke.
James is ready to go with his Blink Dagger coil.
Their deep wards are still down too, so they see SCCC and they saw KP as well. Yeah, they know that this hero is alone top if Mugi stays.
And if they could actually get the pick onto this hero, they could just turn it into a tower as well.
He's
but
out.
It looks like Newbee have read kind of the same thing, which is, hey, they're off map and we used Echo Slam. Probably be a good time for them to try and get aggressive. Bottom lane, Kaka's actually got a nice little setup here. He's got the Blink Dagger ready to go. With level 1 Epicenter, though, I'm pretty sure he can't kill Raging Potato.
It's actually pretty close. If he gets one more person, he can definitely kill.
Yeah, that's what he's waiting on. See, gonna make the wrap around here. Actually, not even gonna be using the Epicenter. Looks like they're just gonna go for the stun from SCC. And pop goes.
Another trade here as Execration in the meantime pushing top. They might get a little bit of damage dealt bottom. SCCC does have a double damage, so if they want to stay here and punch this, they definitely can. The Lifestealer does not have Infest though, so fighting this in the bottom lane I think for Execration, especially considering Raging Potato's dead, probably not something on their list of things to do. Looking for potential initiation on James, but it's real hard to dive a puck.
Yeah, he's going to try and wrap behind the tier 2 tower where there isn't vision, but James already backed up, so he just instantly kills the creep wave. So, apparently backdoor protection wasn't up there, but it's not. Glyph gonna be used just to buy some time. I'm assuming that Execration just gave this up. I really don't think that if you're in their position, you don't fight Newbee unless you're going for like a smoke gank pick.
Yeah, and if you know that you're fighting into multiple ultimates, that's also a bit of a deterrent, I think, as Execration, because until BKBs are out, for the Enigma at least, it's really, really tricky to even think about getting a black hole, because KP can just wait. That's the great thing about Newbee's lineup prior to BKBs, is that the Earthshaker can just stay out of the fight as long as he wants, because they will need the black hole to win the fight. Newbee might not necessarily need an Echo Slam, though.
Now, Execration were able to keep their tier 2 alive, and that's because Newbee actually backed away, or at least one member did, the Dragon Knight. Are they going to see this? Are they going to see the neutrals hitting? They're actually going to be able to catch Mookie here. They managed to get the silence onto him, but there's no follow-up damage. James just holds on left-hand side. They do manage to catch KP, but as Kako makes the initiation with the epicenter, Lumic is now stuck right next to Newbee. Not where you want to be against an angry bear, and KP takes the rest. He's going to be able to chase down the Rubik, while it looks like Lumic, he's going to have to hide. Some sort of ice shards, TP play, not possible. Not against Kaka. Will end up going down. So all three of the members of Execration end up dying. Looks like Newbee's patience finally won out in the end. They've been kind of sitting down here, hiding away in the trees for a very long time, while Dragon Knight pushed out top and rewarded with a great team fight.
They didn't want to commit to the Ursa. That was I think where the fight kind of went south for Execration. They coil this Ursa and he's sitting there. He hasn't popped his Enrage. And Moogie's just like, okay, I got like 60% health. If you guys commit to me, I'll pop my ult. That buys time. Kaka sees the opportunity for the epicenter counter initiation. And not only that, but Faith was also just sitting behind the trees waiting to grave. So even though it looked like Moogie got caught, it was more of a bait than anything else. And then obviously KP comes in after the fact with all his spells. He didn't even have to connect there. It was just straight up damage.
Newbee are just completely outmaneuvering Execration at this point in time. Because then they make that play at bottom, so the Enigma... Oh, now they're making a play for bottom lane still. They're going for Nando, but what a beautiful steal from RR. He managed to get the two-man Burrow Strike. That's going to turn this whole entire fight around. They managed to get one kill. Kaka with a Shallow Grave survives a little bit longer, but he will end up dying to the Infest Bomb, the pop-out. James catches Faith as well. They cut down 3. All right, Newbee, just as I was praising you for completely outmaneuvering Execration, and they were, looks like they got a little greedy and still tried to make a play. They made a play bottom, then top, then bottom immediately, and that's a little too fast, maybe.
They're probably overestimating their individual hero strength a little bit too much. They had Echo there, so maybe they were feeling like, hey, if they try to commit again, we still have our Dazzle. I think, unfortunately, Faith misclicked. I think he graved the wrong person. He graved Kaka instead of KP.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that would have made much of a difference in, you know, letting him live or whatever, but yeah, that was a little bit of a mistake and ends up costing them. The important thing to note too is even though, you know, Newbee were getting those kills, Raging Potato and Nando both have been doing a really good job at staying in different parts of the map and just continually getting farm. So the first time they went bottom with the 3 heroes, it was the Puck, the Tusk, and the Rubik, probably the ones that matter the least in regards to net worth. So I'm okay with them losing, you know, a support or two, maybe even losing their mid player every now and then if the Enigma is getting closer to his BKB and as long as Nando's farming.
Right. I guess that's where you would say Raging Potato maybe, like he felt pressured, right? Losing those 3 hero bottom, losing a fight, he's like, okay, I'm gonna push out top, right? Like, okay, they're bottom lane, I go push out top, but he's really got to be careful of this Dragon Knight and the solo kill potential, or even just the setup for his team that comes with this Shadow Blade. You can see he learned his lesson. He's going to be playing this push a lot safer. He's going to be playing a lot inside the trees, allowing the Eidolons to do all the pushing because he's so close to that BKB. And this is such an important timing because this is also one of the big peaks of the Newbee lineup, I would say, is that they're about to get to their full strength. And then it just comes down to whether or not Execration can stop them, mostly with the Black Hole. I feel like most of these other members, the Lifestealer and the Puck, they're going to have a much harder time, especially with BKBs coming. RR, he is going to be blown up. It's going to be support for support there, but Moogie's in an awkward position. Fortunately, he's got SCC by his side, so there's no way Execration going to fight this one out.
RR has been really good about getting Burrow. I think he's gotten it like 2 or 3 times this game.
Yeah, that's...
It's a pretty hard steal, to be honest. But it's a fantastic spell to have. Burrow, in my opinion, is Rubik, is one of the best non-ultimate spells you can get.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been for probably like a year. I remember like we saw TI6, Rubiks were constantly picked up against the Sand Kings simply because it was considered such a strong counter. Being able to steal that Burrow Strike.
And no Roshan coming out here from Newbee either. I guess they're probably just waiting out. Well, Echo's back up. Faith will be alive now. He can just TP in.
Kaka trying to take the hard farm here. The top lane is going to be caught. Oh, maybe not, actually. Lumik blinks forward, but the Infest Bomb has already come out. They do manage to get the slow, so Kaka is not going to make it alive. But in the meantime, they manage to catch James, which is more important. They manage to take control away from Execration. And it doesn't look like Execration is feeling too comfortable about contesting this one. They're still going to try, though. The Enigma doesn't quite have that BKB. Oh, what a big timing this would have been if he had just an extra 200 gold. Maybe they would actually be able to fight this a bit better, a bit more head-on. Instead, Execration would have to play this a little bit slower. They managed to big link in. They grabbed the cheese, but not the Aegis. Mookie managed to grab the important item. And now for the snowball out from the Tusk, or not actually, he's hitting SEC, so he's not going anywhere. Still going to be caught. An Execration attempt to contest there, but just end up losing 2 more heroes.
That was a really nice attempt, though, nonetheless, from Raging Potato. He got the cheese, so sometimes they drop pretty close to each other. And when you're in the moment, you know, you're just spam clicking the ground. You're like, please give me the Aegis, please give me the Aegis. And I think he probably would have died twice anyway, because he had to blink in, right? So he doesn't have the blink back out when he respawns.
Do you think that Execration had to contest?
I think taking the cheese away is probably good enough. I mean, sure, losing the 2 heroes is not ideal, but if Raging Potato sacrifices himself and he gets one of the pieces, it's probably still fine because, you know, are they pushing high ground before he gets BKB is my one question. If they were pushing a tier 3 and then that resulting fight were to make them lose racks, I'd say no, definitely not worth it. But if he's still allowed to get BKB before the next real push comes out from Newbee, then I think it's okay.
And it looks like he will get it. Picks up the recipe, and Newbee, they're still playing this like pretty, I would say a bit slow. I mean, that's probably okay. They're trying to get their BKBs up. I guess if you look at it in that regard, if you're operating on your BKBs and you get enrage off the right times, you may not actually die in that black at all, right? Because a lot of it's magic damage, and then the other half is going to be Lifestealer. What he can do, but Dragon Knight's got high armor, and Ursa's got the enrage.
There's definitely also consideration of the Dazzle, like Faith having the weave in the
They're going to make the initiation here, just go for the straight-up kill on SEC. Now, KP is around. He managed to make the TP into the Shrine, so he can attempt to counter this in Execration. Get a little too grouped up, and there it is. He goes for it. Only hits 2, though. The BKB was still up in the Enigma, but it's good enough as Mookie makes his initiation follow-up, manages to kill the Lifestealer, takes down the Ursa. James manages to actually pick up that 1 support kill, and it looks like he'll get away with a well-timed haste route. Now, Raging Potato, 4 seconds up. Kaka misses the Burrow Strike, needs a right click in desperately as the Blink Dagger is going to come up, but he gets the Yule Scepter. Managed to get the vision there. Raging Potato will be caught, and I don't think he makes it out here. Between the Burrow Strike and the Caustic Finale, keep him slowed down. Mookie will actually take the kill there. Monster kill streak for him, 15-25, and the first reveal of the BKB Black Hole, but it was not good enough for Execration to win the fight.
They had a really nice idea of, okay, the DK is sitting in front, we got a little time, let's just go ahead and drop a black hole on him and we'll take 45. It sounds really good on paper, but I think with this style of lineup, what needs to happen is you kind of want Newbee to be engaging into you, because they have 2 heroes that are great at just sitting out of the fight. Right. They have Kaka on the Sand King, and then you have KP Shaker. In addition, you also have Faith, who had he been maybe a little bit closer, you know, maybe they don't even kill SCCC, but because of that, they can sit back and they can also line up their own Echo and Epi as well, off of a black hole.
Right. Fisher initiation, Nando is dead.
Jeez.
Just like that, 50 seconds on the clock, and Newbee will push for high ground.
That is real bad news for Execration.
Yeah, especially since there's no black hole up for 70 seconds between the 2. You basically have 2 cores out of the fight right now. You don't have a black hole. James actually doesn't have his Lincoln, so he can't even play that aggressive into Newbee. It's SEC with that instance. And Burrow Strike, kind of dangerous. He does make an initiation here from Kaka. They manage to get the blink and snowball. That only buys a pittance of time, though, as KP follows that snowball up with a Chant Totem stun on the 2. And James watches it all, unable to do anything. Maybe get a small stun on KP, but he's able to get out. SEC pops his BKB, man fights for his team to be able to back away. And are they really going to go back into this one? Lister's coming back up. RR makes his stun. Okay, that's a little far. Fisher block, and he's definitely dead. Nando's here now. Can they hold as 3 against Newbee? Looks like tier 3 will stay alive. But maybe they can keep Ferris up. Rage rack enemies hard. KP makes the Echo Slam barely onto Nando, but it's good enough for Moogie to get the fall-in damage. Now it's just a control game. Newbee definitely are going to be able to take this mid laner Brax, if not more. Potentially going to rotate and take some tier 2s. He's a little low and he will lose Contagious. Coming back though, full HP, full mana. Melee Rax will fall and Newbee rotate to bottom lane if they wish. Take that tier 2 or maybe just back up and farm.
Well, they know Black Hole's up soon, so
Yeah, that's true.
It's probably safer just to back off, take your win, go get your farm, heal up, buy your items, stuff like that. Come back with just a little bit more punching power the next time because you're going to be fighting into essentially the full arsenal of Execration. And that Black Hole and BK mid definitely came back to bite them because the fight itself, they didn't even win off of killing SCCC. And because the Black Hole was down and Newbee were holding onto his smoke, they're able to just very easily get across the map. They didn't, they committed an Echo, I think, and a Epi to the fight mid, but it's not as important for them to have those abilities as it is for Execration just to have Black Hole.
Right.
That ability is so paramount. They last picked Enigma. If the hero doesn't come in huge, then their team fight in comparison to what Newbee have right now is just lackluster. So I'm feeling like it might be a little bit too much in regards of like net worth and experience lead now for Execration to do anything but try to get like a 3 or 4 man Black Hole if they want to win a fight.
Right. And in this case, like, if Execration is the ones setting up a fight, and not TPing, might want a TP friend for certain situations, but he's okay. In these situations, say we look back on that Dragonite, do you think the better way to set it up for Execration is that they go for this infest situation, and that's their form of initiation onto a hero? Even if it's going to be slower in damage, they may not be able to burst down a hero. That's their form of initiation, and they hold their Black Hole and wait for Newbee's counter initiation.
I think that's the perfect way to fight. But you have to be able to do enough damage to force Newbee to react. You know, that's the thing. You have to force either KP in, or you have to force Kaka to go in. Then you can Black Hole. If you wait, I think you can win.
Smoke is gonna pop here. SEC 2 has the vision down. There goes BKB Black Hole, but only catches KP. That's not really great, especially with the Shell Grave still there. KP's gonna be able to get off some sort of abilities. Silence up for a little while, gets to the trees, is gonna be popped by the coil. James, though, he's the only one left alive. His whole entire team pretty much crumpled under Moogie's weight of the big bad bear. James not even gonna make it out. His Lincoln's is down, so he's caught by the Yule Scepter. Newbee, you're gonna give it up. It's like, it's too hard to kill that hero. Let's just go for that tier 2. After all, it is 40 seconds on the clock for an Enigma and 65 seconds for the Black Hole.
I do feel as if Raging Potato he's playing a little bit anxious, I guess is the best way to describe it. He's going in really fast, he's looking at heroes who we feel have big teamfight impact, and he says, I'm gonna try to stop you from using your spells. But Newbee have a really good team if you're only getting a Black Hole in like 1 or 2 people. Because we just saw there, Faith got the Grave, he lived through pretty much everything. He only died at the very end once James dropped a coil on him after the Grave wore off. So you commit this BKB Black Hole, you can't just kill one person. Not when you're this far behind.
James, there's a little silence, a little harassment onto Newbee. They've taken a tier 3 in there. They're happy enough, after all. Roshan potential timing starts now. The worst thing you can do as a Newbee with this kind of advantage is force another fight in the high ground, somehow lose that, and all of a sudden Execration is looking at taking Roshan themselves.
There is still potential for turnarounds. That's the beauty of heroes like Enigma.
Yeah.
If you get the right Black Hole and you get the Midnight Boost
Not against KP though. Oh lordy.
Alright, well,
I think he had the ancient Prowler minus armor on him. So KP with a double damage, just Echo Slam and Chant Totem womp. Took like 75% of his HP.
oh, Nando. Alright, he might be getting saved.
Lumic is going to die in his stead, and Newbee, with the tier 2 still up at top lane, will take bottom, or you can see just poking at the tier 4s, thinks better of it. Bottom lane of Brax is better.
Well, it looks like we're going to be looking at potentially them just going back and checking Rosh again, or are they just going to run straight for the tier 2? Right now it's going to be backdoor protected. They're going to be able to clean up some of the buildings, just doing some tier 4 damage, I guess.
Yeah.
They need to be careful though. There is BKB Black Hole.
It's up in 1 second. James. You know, I'm looking at this, and I think that's part of the beauty of Lifestealer Enigma against this lineup that doesn't have anything to really threaten. Oh, they're actually going to TP4. They really want to catch Newbee here. James is in a position to jump on some heroes, but it just looks like a little bit too much. 5 heroes are there. He makes a long orb jump away. Wanted to catch somebody for Newbee, but it looks like they just stayed a little bit too grouped up for him to find that opening. Dire successful scan onto Raging Potato, so they back away at Shrine.
It's very interesting watching this game because on paper, I think that Newbee's lineup is a tiny bit better, but it's not so much better where you think that they would win most of the games.
Yeah.
You would assume like every once in a while if you were to play this matchup a lot that the Enigma would come in huge eventually when he has BKB, get the right targets and go in. But the way the fights have just been going, they're not really, like you want your chain of initiation to typically be Puck and Lifestealer, like you said, they go in first. They make Newbee do something and then you can get a Black Hole. But the way the fights have been going, they're going in at the same time. Or they're going in, like Raging Potato goes first. And that's dangerous. It's super, super dangerous. Enigma plays best when he can sit back and wait for his moment.
Kaka is going to be found here. Looks like they're going to blow him. Oh, maybe not. He gets off the Yule Scepter, save himself at half HP. Snowball still being held there onto Fade. They're going to be able to kill him for sure. Looks like they caught Nando as well with the Abyssal Blade. They do manage to get the coil out. Moogie is going to just run straight through, tanks the stun, and Infest. Leap away, and James with KP. He's lying in wait, managed to get the Echo Slam. Hold on to James. They're going to blow up the Puck and release the Lifestealer or not. Oh, Lincoln blocks that Burrow Strike, tries to make the Burrow away, but doesn't make it. Nando can't even TP out. Good lord. He has no armor pretty much against Moogie, and Moogie's got a ton of damage.
By the way, I don't think I've seen Moogie miss a single attack on that Lifestealer.
Yeah, what's with that?
Have you noticed that as well? Like, he has seriously hit every single swing.
Yeah, I actually just clicked on him to check for MKB, because I was like, man, he didn't miss anything there.
He did it in the base, he did it in like 3 different fights, and he had the talisman for ages. Like,
yeah.
I think up until this point, maybe like 2 or 3 minutes ago, he still had cheese in his inventory from when they managed to steal it from Roche. But yeah, Newbee coming in strong here. Game number 1, 26k network lead here in 35 minutes. Seems okay.
Rawr!
Well, he canceled that one. And he deserves that. You kind of got a feel for, you know, Raging Potato a little bit this game because it is a high pressure Enigma game. Yeah. It's like, oh god, if I don't get the Echo, the game's just gonna fall apart. Because you know, I guess James did okay in his lane, and Nando was free farming for a majority of the early game as well. It's just when it came to moving around the map and fighting, Newbee just outclassed them. Like
Absolutely.
they just fought better. They were in the right place at the right time.